Chris
Okay,
and Dan, we haven't done this in a while, man. We got to give the fans what they want. All three of them.
all three. We have that many now.
Maybe most of them are all Nightwish fans still.
So when we started doing this channel, our goal was to find music the other would like, right? That
Mm,
wasn't their preferred genre.
that was a bad idea.
Not necessarily. We got 1,000 subscribers very quickly, but nonetheless,
Mm,
um, I was thinking maybe we'll try something in that vein, but obviously a different genre, not music.
mm.
Um, so I'm going to try and tell you something you don't know. Okay, that's useful to you.
Not hard to do. Okay, that's useful to me. Is the
That would be useful to you. So kind of the same thing, right? Where I play a song for you I think you might like. I'm going to
sure.
tell you something you may not know that I think is useful to you
Okay.
potentially.
Yeah.
All right. So I thought of one while I was taking a shower. So this one, so you'll have to think of something on the fly here. It's unfortunate for you because I
Sure.
don't know if I could, but um, you guys have an alarm system for your home, right?
Yeah.
And you probably pay somewhere around 1,000 a year, I'm guessing, for that alarm system.
I don't even know.
Well,
Probably. Let's just say yeah.
okay. So because I've been thinking of getting an alarm system for my home, right? Or
Yeah.
I had been thinking about it. But then I thought, well, before I do that, let me call the insurance company and see what insurance for theft of anything would cost and full coverage of that, right?
Yeah.
And it's about the same price. So to me, it makes more sense to not have an alarm system
Uh,
and just make sure everything's insured, right? If anything gets stolen, it's replaced.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the alarm system's a better deterrent. I
But
think
what if you get broken into and they steal stuff? What does it matter?
right, but there's like also psychological. If you talk to people who have had their homes burglarized, I
Mm-hmm,
haven't, thank God, but I have talked to people who have, and they
mm-hmm.
say almost worse than like the things missing is their unease of like sleeping, psychological distress of like, having all your shit gone through. It's like beyond money at that point. So I don't think the insurance helps with that.
Oh, okay. So you're trying to avoid a psychological situation.
You're trying to like it's a better deterrent to avoid unpleasantness, basically.
And do you think that burglar alarms are a deterrent, like strong enough a deterrent?
Yeah, I do think so. It depends where you are, of course. Like, I mean, where I'm at, it's pretty quiet. So if a burglar alarm goes off, everyone in the neighborhood will wake up.
Fair
And
enough.
like, if you're in a city, no, I mean, they go off all the time and nobody gives a shit, right? It's like car alarms. Like, they just go off all the time. Everyone assumes it's accident. Um, so that'd be my only counter to that. But I did not know it was just as expensive.
So
Because from a rational standpoint, that's true, but humans are irrational creatures that require sleep. They require peaceful minds to sleep well.
this is true. This is true. So maybe it's not right for you. It was right for me, right? Get
Yeah.
get insurance because I have plenty of burglar alarms.
Do
They're
you know
called
how
three.
that works with crypto
Wait,
and
wait.
things like
They're
that?
called three large German shepherds. Those are my
Ah,
burglar alarms,
well, yeah.
and one of them's aggressive, so I'm good.
Shout out to Fezzik.
No Vader
Vader's the aggressive one?
to strangers,
Ah,
to strangers entering the home.
okay. Well, he knows me already because he's
Yeah,
always
he
nice.
knows you and Dora.
Honestly, I'm most scared of Fezzik from your dogs.
Oh no, he's the most
That
friendly.
one is huge.
Yeah, but he's the most friendly.
No, he is the most friendly, but if I had to pick one to be afraid of, it's
Sure,
Fezzik.
if you didn't know the three of them, yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
And two AI articles here say both AI. One says burglar alarms are very effective at deterring burglars. Studies show that around 60% of burglars will leave your property alone if they see an alarm.
Correct. Because most are connected to the police, so it's like minutes away the police will come to you.
Right. But
And
60% still isn't a guarantee, right?
it's not a guarantee, no. And you're right. And you make a compelling argument for having theft insurance.
Now, what would make the best sense, and I don't know if any company offers this, is if an alarm company guarantees their alarm to the point where they'll replace anything that's stolen.
Hmm. I think
So
the
you're getting
only ones
both.
who can do that would be like if Amazon gets into that business, because I know with Ring, they kind of can get into that business if they wanted to,
Hmm.
or Google with the Nest. It would have to be one of the magnificent eight, seven or eight that can actually afford to do that.
Sure.
Because that's essentially a loss leader, right? Just to get more consumers,
Yep.
which is the
Take
name of the game for AI too, which
take
we
over
were
the
just talking.
business.
Yep. Have
All
enough
right.
loss leaders to get your systems more powerful. Because if AI is the thing, like having a smart home benefits the user just as much as the company that provides the services.
Yeah. So has this given you enough time to think up something I don't know, but would be useful to me to know or potentially
Mm,
useful?
oof. Well, I did on the other podcast, the Gentic AI.
Yeah, but I don't know if that would be useful to me.
If it's not yet, it will be at some point. Um, well, yeah, it's useful to you now. We're trying to do this for one of our businesses, as is.
Sure, but not having much success thus far.
No, but we're very early
Oh,
in our
absolutely.
niche. In our niche. No, nothing really.
Well, I told you something else. I'll give you a few more moments. I told you
Yeah,
something else the other day, but you already knew this. I did not know this. As a 50-year-old man, I did not know if you take ripe avocados and put them in the refrigerator, they do not ripen any longer and they do not go bad.
right.
I did not know that.
I
Then
didn't
you're
know
like,
that till you told me, but I think Dara knew that.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because you go to Costco, you get six huge avocados. By the time you get to the last two, they're no longer any good if you just leave them
yeah,
out.
yeah.
So, so I looked it up one day because I got tired of throwing away avocados. I was like, oh, I got to try that. It says refrigerate them. It keeps them for another week or two, keeps them
Yep,
good.
yep.
So I was like, oh, okay. And it
No,
sure
nothing like
does.
that. Nothing like that. Yeah, I'm not sure I have. I've been on the newborn trip, so
Well,
but
okay.
you're
Tell me,
already experienced with that.
yeah, fairly experienced, but tell me something you learned you didn't know about babies.
How to burp them.
So how do you do it?
There's two ways. I either put them on my neck face down and burp him that way, or I sit him up and I control his head with my other hand and get the air out of him that way and stretch him out while doing it to like get his guts moving basically.
So you probably don't know at this point if your baby's colicky. One of
Oh,
my
he's colicky.
is he?
We already
Because
know, yeah.
one of my four kids were colicky, really bad,
Mm.
and you had to do like make him do sit-ups, right? But not with his body, but with
With
his
his legs.
legs.
Yeah.
You put his legs to his chest
Yep.
slowly, and he
Yep.
would burp and fart. And
Yep. I do that too. I found
yeah,
these two other methods work better though and faster.
yeah. And
Yeah.
he calms down, like it
He
gets
comes down. Yeah.
alleviates whatever pressure.
Yeah. Um, no, I don't really have any fun facts for you, you know. I think
Nothing.
no, nothing. I mean, Nvidia's on a tear. You could buy some stock, but
I already
oh, you
bought
missed
Nvidia.
out. You missed out on Palantir big time.
Yeah,
We had the guy on 2 years ago on our show talking to us about
yeah,
Palantir
I recall.
at like $7. It's now at 120.
I think I bought Palantir and then I sold it.
Yeah, I bought and I sold in my Robinhood, but I kept in my IRA, so it's been good. But
No, I sold it all.
uh,
Like, because I lost money. It went down
yeah,
from where I purchased it. I don't remember
this is
specifics, but
why this is why I really think going forward, and I've already started implementing it. You have to do like the Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger approach, and not necessarily follow their frameworks, but their methodology is to pick a few companies that you just learn the hell out of it
mhm.
before you invest in it. And if they're not, most of the time you're not going to invest in them. You're like, no, it doesn't qualify on some level. But like, this gives you the conviction to when you do find a Palantir that you don't sell it when everyone else is.
Sure.
That's the only thing. Like, that's what I'm doing with this biotech right now, AQST.
Hmm.
I just feel like I studied it better than all the idiots selling it. Like, I just buy more. I
But
could be the idiot. That's the danger.
sure.
But I kind of see on Twitter who these people are and what their concerns are. And to me, because I've studied this company so well, they're arguing very superficial things, which I've already accounted for in my analysis. So, in a way, I have conviction there. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. I mean, you're going to be wrong too, regardless, because
Hmm.
when you're dealing with biotechs, you're dealing with FDA, and sometimes that's subjective, as we've seen with Amgen getting their Alzheimer's drug approved, even though the results weren't good, and then 6 months later, the FDA taking it back.
Hmm.
Some people got paid off of that. I don't know. That one seems very suspicious.
Hmm.
So luck's involved many times too, but I just think the only way not to miss out on the next Palantir is to find one early enough, do your homework, and don't panic when everyone sells. Like, have your convictions changed? Has the evidence shown you reason to? No. Then buy more, actually. You shouldn't be selling it.
Well, that's what Buffett says, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Buy
I
what
got the
buy
book here too.
buy when there's blood in the streets.
Exactly. But the only way to do that is to like actually study it and not be lazy. So poor Charlie's Almanac, rest in peace. Um, actually, the back of his book is what I'm talking about. There
Blurry.
is an old two-part rule that often works wonders in business, science, and elsewhere. One, take a simple, basic idea, and two, take it very seriously.
Hmm.
So essentially saying just study more than other people, and that's the
Sure.
only way to remain convicted. And when the data is showing you otherwise, don't be afraid to like get out as well. You don't want to be stubborn and only see what you want. That's the hard part.
Or you can be lazy, which most investors recommend, the experts. Buy SPY or QQQ.
There you go. Which is what most people should do.
Yep.
It's just there's more dopamine hits by doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I completely agree. Buying SPY, never looking at it, and leaving it in your account for 40 years is boring.
Yeah.
I mean, it truly is.
There's something about being alive that Seneca, no, sorry, Marcus Aurelius said it in his book, Meditations. When you don't feel like getting out of bed, and he was the emperor of Rome, and he had days where he didn't want to get out of bed. He says to himself, "Is this why I'm alive to not get out of bed today?
Hmm.
No, you got shit to do. So do it. Like you're lucky to be able to even feel that way." Same thing with these stocks. Sometimes you just have more fun. You're gonna
No, without a
die.
doubt.
You're gonna die at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can go down a long philosophical road with that.
Yeah, I got to get back into reading because I took like a week off of reading with the birth of the son and all that hospital stuff, but getting back into it.
And I know I've said this already, but just so it's recorded, very much congratulations on your son.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
man.
been a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming. I'm glad we waited, however, because this ain't for the faint of heart, man. Like, there's no way I could be stressed out on a business that's not doing well and do this properly.
So
I
you're
just don't.
referring back to like the South Coast days.
I had good years there too, but yeah, like if it would have happened during one of the bad years, man, I don't know. I'm just I think you have to be financially ready as well. And I think majority of people don't consider that when they have kids.
Well, see, in my mind, there's pros and cons to both.
Of course.
Like, if you want to retire and do things and be young enough to do things, then you have to have kids earlier, right?
Yes.
But if you get all of that out of the way when you're younger, then you
Yeah.
can have kids older, right? Where you don't feel like you're missing out on life and traveling and doing all
That's
those other
kind
things.
of what we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the time he's a teenager, we'll still be like mid 50s, so could still do shit.
Yeah. That's what I am right now.
Oh
Um,
yeah, there you go. You still do
uh,
shit.
and I have a 14-year-old. So,
There you go. I've seen you in New Orleans doing your thing.
oh,
You
yeah.
get you gets down.
Less and less, but yeah. New Orleans, I was probably late 40s.
Ah, late 40s. Yeah.
Hmm. I like going to bed at no later than midnight now.
Yeah, well, one thing with these newborns is you just take sleep when you can.
That's exactly right, and it's very unfortunate.
I am sleepwalking at times, changing diapers. I witnessed my wife doing this yesterday.
Yeah,
She's feeding him and she's asleep.
yeah,
I'm like, whoa, this is real. I never see my wife tired ever. So it takes a lot out of you. But I'm
yeah.
looking
For
at our channel.
6 months.
I'm looking at our channel, what's been doing well and what hasn't. So, well,
Well,
the short answer is nothing's really.
no, there's videos that have over 30,000 views.
Yeah, Kanye West, when we
No,
bootleg
there's like
his
five or
concert,
10 of those have over 30,000 views.
it's all music. But like from our non-music stuff, AQST one, that biotech I'm talking about, book reviews, but they're evergreen.
Sure.
Nietzsche did decent. Nietzsche actually did really good. And book reviews are hit or miss, but they're evergreen.
Hmm.
Current event stuff is just short, only a short window, and then it's dead.
Hmm.
Um, Religion stuff didn't do well. Philosophy. I wonder why that is. Fear porn doesn't even do well on our case.
You probably have to have a recognizable name. There's just too
Yeah,
much content in those areas.
those genres. I
Hmm.
think you also need like a hot take, but you have to like not just for the sake of having it, like an actual conviction on that hot take,
Sure.
which
So
is kind
you
of hard
so,
to manufacture.
so you need to have an actual philosophy, opinion, emotion about the topic, and it needs to be relevant today. Like you can't come out with something a week after it happens
Right.
when you
And
say
you
your
have
hot
to,
take.
well, that's part of it. The other part that I think is hard to manufacture is having an interesting angle or opinion that no one else has, like one that you haven't heard yet,
Hmm.
and not just parroting like others. And that's tough to manufacture 'cause it has to be authentic for it to come out that way, which means you have to like be studied in that thing to even have thought about it long enough to have a hot take in the first place,
See,
like a unique angle on whatever,
it would
XYZ.
for that to even be possible, it'd have to be something that's mm, kind of not discussed a lot, right? And what I mean
Well,
by
in
that,
our industry, on our other channel, we do this all the time and it
sure,
works
sure, that
because
makes
we
sense.
are nuanced enough to have hot takes.
But say just for things like politics or sports or any of those things, everyone's already discussed and thought anything that even if you haven't heard it, it's already happened, right?
For the
Like
most part.
like I'll have opinions about something that is like, yeah, I've heard nobody say this, right? And then I'll start to think about doing a video on it, and then sure enough, I watch a video and someone says the same
As
thing.
someone said, yeah, yeah.
So it's like, well, it's pointless now.
I think you need a take that's like you that someone else can't do. So, for example, I mean, we're in clinical research, right? So, RFK, what he means for research. Like, people have thousands of opinions on RFK, but not many researchers have hot
Mm-hmm.
takes on that. And so, I think that could be distilled down to like every vertical. Like, what is Tulsi Gabbard's? What does she mean for cybersecurity? Or even more specific, like Bitcoin wallets. Just and you have to be like a crypto expert to kind of have a hot take to begin with. So it's
Sure.
tough, man. This content game is not easy.
Yeah, because either you have to be a known commodity,
Yeah.
or what you have to say is, like you're saying, kind of a hot take that maybe no one else has really approached that angle.
Yeah. So maybe we go back to music, man. I don't know. Fuck if I know.